Ừm. Good afternoon, Phnom Penh. Shall we start slowly? Thank you. Ponter, turning your cameras on. Time is passing quickly, huh? And you are done more than half of the analysis anyways. 2 more weeks to go for data collection, and then you'll start playing with the collected information. We are slowly being completed, but still a few people are missing. Let's have a cross check whether we have all teams here. Construction.
Yes, sir.
Okay, education.
Yes, we are here.
GFT. What is GFT?
Yes, Professor.
All right. Tourism.
Yes, Professor, we are here.
Thank you. Finance.
Professor, we are here.
Perfect. Agriculture.
Yes, we are here, Professor.
Perfect. We have the farmers. That's most important. If we don't have rice, we have nothing, right? And we need energy team as well.
Yes, Professor.
Okay. And finally, the retail team.
We are here, Professor.
Wonderful. Right. The slides are already available. I don't know if you noticed and already downloaded. In Classroom, you can download this slide deck. There is one little information which is a little surprising. I created a survey. And that survey, I don't know what that will tell us soon, because I'd like to get more information from that. We'll get to there. You know the basic framework. We would like to move to innovation sustainable growth area by using ESG. So that is our idea. We are now on the right side of the analysis, just internal analysis focusing on ESG. We have 7th and 14th also lectures, so 2 more weeks in a row. It looks like we're intense, but since you will be busy with the same company information, I think it should be doable. So far, we are halfway now. Finished the lecture 5 already. You know, you select industries, form the teams, you collect information about your industries. You look at the external environment by looking at the political, economical, social, technological environment and legal the factors. And then you also looked at the competitive forces in your industries. So you are now actually industry specialists. From this week onwards, you will look at specific companies within the industries to see how they are doing in terms of ESG. You see, as a regular auditor, you will have to look their financial figures, those industries. But in our consulting club, you will specifically focusing on their ESG information, how they are doing in environment, how they are doing on a social and governance, the topics. So that's an exploration. And I can imagine those information will not even be available. So that is also a finding that they don't have this information. Then you will have your own discussion and seeing how you can collect that data points. I still believe this is a very nice reading. It has also loads of links that you could have a look. You know, how ESG reporting and how to do it, what it is, and what are the alternative sources of information. So if you master this information, you will be very advantageous in your upcoming years and especially in your job interviews. Because that is a very unique information that, I mean, the other students don't have. I don't know if you have ESG classes, courses, or sustainability reporting as a course, I don't know. But if you can talk about it, these are the growing part of consultancy firms. You know, they have regular audit departments, but they will soon have to audit how companies are doing on ESG areas, because ESG reporting will be mandatory very soon. So use these moments and weeks to enhance your background on that. And these examples they show that there are multiple ways of looking at the same picture in those three areas. There are different items, and maybe this is a nice way of reporting at some point your analysis, making these similar graphics to show us, okay, how your companies or organizations, industries are doing in this regard. Here is the, the almost long list, but there are probably multiple items as well on this topic. So today we are going to see which items you have selected for your organizations, and also see what companies you have selected, and most importantly, how you are doing, excuse me, in analyzing those companies. Can you find information? How do you fill this Excel the heat maps? What kind of information you are typing in those areas? So when you are presenting, so I will finish very quickly, and while you're explaining your findings on environment, so I'd like to see indeed which items you have selected on the columns, and which companies you selected on the columns. So items are in rows. These are fairly generic, but maybe for your industry you just tweak a bit, which is fine, which is almost desirable that you adjust it for your industries. And what kind of summaries you already put on your sheets. So I will ask you also to show your Excel, maybe tabs. Maybe you will have 10 tabs in your Excel, having 10 companies, because you have analyzed it, right, for environment. And maybe you could select randomly 1 or 2 companies and see what kind of information you have put, just to see that we are on the same page with everyone. So we can also learn from other teams. It's okay if you don't have the very right information for today, but this is the learning. So we will learn based on how you are doing. So there are not rights or wrongs. And but just to see whether everybody is aligned towards a same goal. Is it clear what I'm asking? So those who is going to present the one-pagers should also have a link for your Excel sheet, so that we could have 1 or 2 tabs for cross-check if you share that pages with us. And I can imagine you have these information because you start making those heat map information. And I have created this survey. I don't know if you already download this handout and see and click, also fill that survey. Shall we use this moment to have your input? I can copy and I can put in the chat area. All right, now this survey is on chat area. Please open and answer these 5+ questions. There are 5 introductory short questions, and then your views on those industries. So let's wait 1 or 2 minutes. Let me see if I can also open it, whether it is working. Okay. So could you able to finish the survey? Is it easy and straightforward, right? It's not very complicated. Because it is important that you understand the dynamics. This week, I would like to have your input, your individual input. From next week onwards, next 2 weeks, I will ask you to find participants within your industries. So if you are in banking, you need to find, let's say, 4 or 5 people per team member. You know, is it LinkedIn? Is it your uncle? Is it somebody you know in working in banking or insurance company? So per team, we need to have roughly 25 survey inputs coming from the industry workers. And while you are making these analyses, when you read the news, look at the annual reports, you will come across the names, right? When you see those names, you could just Google their, I don't know, maybe LinkedIn address or email address. Then you can just make an introductory the sentence. Hey, we are students and would like to measure ESG in this industry. Would you like to have this, you know, 6 short questions that you can do in 2 minutes? Most of people will not participate, so you have to insist. And if you know people personally, you need to reach out to them. Because I'd like to bring next to your analysis, I'd like to bring information how other people perceive the same condition, same situation. Maybe according to your research, you find your industry environmental activities very poor, based on it could be possible, but many people don't experience that way, or other way around. Maybe you will see company information, they are very green, they are very social responsible, but when we ask about that in the other people, they will say, no, they are not very environmental friendly. Labor conditions are much worse in this industry. So I'd like to see similarities and contradictions between what you guys are finding and how people perceive that. Are there any questions regarding to this survey? LinkedIn can be your best friend, because there you can send messages with links. You don't have to find their personal emails. And so join LinkedIn if you haven't done so. And I know a few of you already invite me to connect, so I will be also happy to connect. It's very rich information, and find students who are working in those industries. Questions regarding to this survey? Okay, because next week I will also bring this page, will ask you, okay, how many invitations you have sent, because I can see the number of responses. Responses will be anonymous. I will not see who has filled the information, but it's your own professional responsibility to bring the survey to the right people in the industry, because we like to bring the truth to the table, right? Okay, well, this was my little introduction, and now let's see how teams have prepared and what they have to share with us. Is there a volunteer team this week? Let's make it volunteer. All teams have to do it, but the order will be based on your willingness. Who would like to start and showing? Okay, I see someone raised hands. Well, I would like to invite you then, sharing your screen, and let's talk about it.
Thank you, Professor. Let me share my screen. Can you see my screen now, sir?
Yes, construction guys. Yes, we can see. Thank you.
Yes.
Before you start reading out, I'd like to hear also from each team, how was this research process? Can you find the information? Can you reach out people? So how is it going? How do you prepare for this analysis?
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Propun Lu, and I'm going to discuss the results of our assessment, focusing on the environment component of ESG aspects within Cambodia's construction industry. For our analysis here, we can't, find someone or interview anybody that work in that industry to bring you the real data or information about the ESG knowledge. But what we found is through the websites and other, on the internet, especially on the internet. So I'll show you the our heat maps at the end of the presentation.
No, let's.
You want to look now? You want to see it
I
now?
don't know. Yeah, why not?
Okay, sure.
Because I'd like to have a normal conversations rather than teams reading out every sentence.
Right.
Because now
That's
we are
it.
moving to advanced topics. So like peer communication rather than you present a report.
Yes.
That is the consultancy.
Yes, sir. So this is our heat map that we can find, sir, through the internet.
Mm-hmm.
We chose the top 10 leading construction companies in Cambodia.
Uh-huh.
Let's
If you just click on company, yes, this example, what kind of information you have?
for Chim Mong Lam construction, they their ESG assessment is quite well because they have, you can see here they have a good on the climate change. Like in the 2019, it launched they tried to cut the carbon footprint, and also with the fuel fossil with waste by reduce the use of coal and any other fuel energy. So
And show us a bad one.
a bad one again. So
Number two.
Number 2. For this JS Land company, we can't find much information about how they maintain the environmental sustainability. Yes, about the progress.
You
progress.
one based on.
Yes. Sorry, sir. Can you
So
repeat?
that you give one which is actually doing very bad, very poor, and you say it seems there is no information. Doesn't match what we want to. So let's also have a common understanding how we give a one, because
Okay.
one is immediately red flag.
Okay.
Maybe if there is no information, I don't know. Is it 3 or 2? Because obviously it's not 4 or 5. Because you can't find information, you could say, yeah, okay, it's 2 or 3. So also based on what you see on their websites, general. Because also when you see for other topics like social and governance areas, as I suggested, don't limit yourself. Next week for social areas, look also governance areas at the same time, so that you have a common understanding of general understanding of these firms, and then these numbers can be adjusted along the way. So these are not static, because you will have 2 more weeks analyzing for this specific company. Maybe you will suddenly find some information about resource efficiency, and you can say, okay, now I see that they are also doing fine, and you can assign a 3 or 4.
We can change that later, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Get it.
That's why we are, making this presentation, so that we learn from each other and we are on the same page in terms of how do we make analysis, and how do we evaluate, and how do we report. So I like how you properly make these the Excel sheets. So you will continue looking at these specific company also next week, also the following week. So 2 more weeks. Try to find people from this industry. Google the name and look at the news about this company. Maybe there is a news about their environmental policy, or maybe you will see some accidents that people will be involved, and people say, wow, this company is so careless about the workers. I'm just making this up. So next 2 weeks you will be in these companies, and hopefully you will see some names popping up in your research, and then you can send those short survey links also to them. All right, good job. Let's go back to your one pager and you can explain what did you find in general.
Sorry about the sound, sir. There is a renovation in the school.
We don't hear.
You don't hear that?
No. So AI is filtering these noises.
Can you hear the noises, sir?
No.
No? That's good. That's good. Okay. So for my presentation, but can you hear me speak clearly, sir? Because
Very much.
I'm feeling that I'm shouting right now because of the noises. Sorry.
We only hear you, at least me, and no other noise.
Okay. So for my presentation, I will try to make it as brief as possible, as under 5 minutes as possible in order to save time for other group presentation and to get feedback from professor, and especially to prevent the possibility of professor might stop my presentation in the middle of the presentation and rush to the end. Okay, so let's start with the resource efficiency. The average score among the top 10 construction companies in Cambodia stands at 2.9. And the reason behind these are there is a lack of awareness and implementation on environmental issues caused by import materials such as cement, paint, glues, sand, heavy metal oils, and others. And companies only focus and rely heavily on modern technology and equipment instead of the eco-friendly ones. Most of companies do not have sufficient information about the fuel and energy-related resources on their website platform. Moving to the climate change, the average score is 3.3, indicating better performance compared to resource efficiency. And the positive observations include there are rich implementations on reducing its CO2 emissions from factories by planting more trees, and the use of solar energies has increased nearly 70%, especially in the urban areas this year. Most companies are promoting the 3 R's, reduce, which are reduce, recycle, and reuse, for a green ecosystem and vibrant society as their missions. However, in waste management, the average score is 2.78, signaling room for improvement. Now let's move to the waste management and the average. Okay, and the reason behind that the waste management score the lowest is dirty water and trash in the areas that produced from construction projects has increased recently. And only a few companies such as Chipmunk Group and OCIC are trying to raise the awareness of waste management through workshops, something like that. But there are no specific information about how they manage their construction project. There is also, again, poor information regarding the waste management strategies, recycling initiative, or sustainability efforts relating to waste reduction is available on the top selected 10 companies' social medias or websites. Let's talk about the world best practice, and we found this on the internet as well. For the resource efficiency, we think the company should reduce carbon emissions relating to transportation by sourcing materials locally. What I mean by this is that maybe they try to use the materials that inside the country and cut the transportation and the import material from the other country so that it can save both transportation cost and environment. Also increase renewable energy and sources in local areas. The best practice for climate change are increase the amount of solar energy systems in this industry, and design building and infrastructure to withstand the impacts of climate change, such as extreme weather events, rising temperatures, and sea level rise. This includes measures like flood resistant and etc. And the waste management used the precise measurement and advanced software to predict materials needs accurately, thereby reducing excess purchasing and waste. Also encourage the segregation of waste materials on site to facilitate recycling and reuse. In conclusion, while Cambodia's construction industry shows promise in addressing environment concerns, there's a clear need for concerted efforts to improve resource efficiency, combat climate change, and enhance waste management practice. That's all for me, so for this one slide presentation.
Yeah, that was very well prepared and very well explained. Great job. Compliments to the team. Once again, this is a living document. Deep dive on these companies and try to really find more information, try to reach out people, just call their general numbers, talk to their, I don't know, sustainability managers if they have one. Be a detective, be a consultant, be a journalist, try to find what is going on in this industry. So that's use that also as a fun opportunity. And even in Phnom Penh, there are hundreds of construction sites, right? You just pass by every day. Just go there, look around, try to find an engineer and talk about it. Hey, how you are managing your waste. Have fun in this exploration. In tourism, go to a hotel, have a cocktail, say, hey, we are journalists here. That would be interesting. And for education, I mean, higher education, and your high schools. Just look around and see what happens in Phnom Penh. Also visualize what are things in rural areas. So use next 2 weeks as, I don't know, as a fun exploration opportunity. Great. Which team will be next? Start sharing your screen, don't wait. So you have to do it anyway.
Professor, can we do it? The finance team.
You don't have to ask, you just hit the share screen button and then you're there. Thank you for joining, finance team.
Okay, share. No, me and script though. Okay, sorry for the technical problem.
It's very greenish. Can we see your Excel sheet, and also can you talk through how your team is doing in this exploration?
So
imagine,
Professor, are we good? Sorry.
Can you share your Excel sheet so that we have, a quick glance on your preparations? And I can imagine you can find a lot of information because these organizations are reporting a lot. They have annual reports, proper websites, also news. So how do you deal to find those information?
So like the other team, we went on to the official websites of the respective banks to find their annual reports. And we also go on the internet to find some random related sources such as the news and stuff. And we have come to these numbers.
Okay, that's very interesting because you have half points. You see, you give 3.5, not 3, not 4. That's well, I didn't think about that, but obviously you can do that. Because So far, all teams are already used like 1 to 5, but I'm sure it should be okay to give in half numbers.
Okay, sorry, Professor. There is a renovation. It's really disrupting our hearing. Okay,
It's
so
funny.
are we going? We're just gonna present, Professor.
Okay. Can we see the AMRET tab? Let's see, because they have 4, 2.5, and 3.5. Let's see. Can you find that information? Yes. And you can also put the company names in the heat map, in your heat map for our presentations. At the end, we will use company 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But okay, forget it. This way you have some anonymous information on the heat map, but detailed information with company names.
We actually put it, Professor, in the top bar. Like this page ESG assessment rationale, it is the AMRET Bank or microfinance.
Okay. So you are saying, no, the AMRET, this is different. Like 12,000 loan requests, about 10,000 were scanned for E and S risks. What is E and S? Environment and
Social risks.
Resource efficiency. Okay, why it is 3.5 and not 4? Because obviously they are doing something. Good.
Okay.
And implemented audit carbon footprint measurement at AMRE's head office, you give 2.5. But if they are so unique, even making those footprint measurements, I think they deserve a little more than 2.5, right?
Yes, Professor, we will give it a more fair rating.
No, once again, at this moment, there are no rights and wrongs, but we need to understand a common way of approaching how do we give these colors. That's why it's okay that any number is here, but make a logical comparison. Because if this is 2.5, which bank of office get 4 or 5? Can we see your heat map again?
The heat map.
Yes. It seems let's
FTP,
see,
Professor, the second one.
yes, FTD. Okay, these are very green.
FTP.
Let's see what they are doing, how they are doing. Okay. Wow, these are impressive actually about how they are doing, right? So these are actually very, very nice findings. Well, also compare within the team how you give numbers, because obviously there are 10 different organizations and everybody is giving only 2 with the person's perceptions. What needs to be done, you show, you look at the heat map as a team and have this conversation within the team. You know, why do you give 2.5? Hey, mine is doing similar things. I gave 4. So have team discussions, and this feedback is to everyone to calibrate your assessments. Also read others assessments because it's very, you can scan this 10 different organization, like three the boxes in 5 minutes. So inspect your team members' findings and coloring or the number, and have a common calibration within the team, so that if we just compare, that information resonates to a number logically and comparably with the other organizations. What I'm saying is very important for all teams. It is not important at this moment what you have, but that heat map should be aligned next 2 weeks, also with the other 2 topics, social governance, as a team effort and team collaboration. So at the end, you should have a heat map that is logical. If we see a red, if we click on that, we should see something very negative. If we see some very green, it should be something very positive with the findings. And we should be able to see between 4 and 5, for example, why such some companies are getting 5, and maybe the other company is doing similar things, but that person just gave 4. So make these comparisons and see how this will be developing. So I expect actually the finance heat map will be towards green. I don't know, maybe some microfinancing from companies are doing less good in environments. So what do you think about heat map?
Actually, overall, it's pretty okay if we are only talking about the environment. But upon our research, in the finance industry, they're doing even better when it comes to social and governance. But for environment, we would just say it's pretty okay, just good, but should have been more.
Okay. So please go to heat map again. Okay, you see it's pretty greenish. ABBA has 2. Let's see what they have, because that's a very large bank. So you would assume ABA funding charitable continuing climate campaign. You see, to me, that information is not 100% because it is not only on climate. It could be maybe social. And 2 is not resonating what we see there as an information.
So for this part, we actually had a discussion, Professor, when it comes to scaling, but for some of the banks and financial institutions, some of them kind of lack when it comes to information. So we're just gonna give it like a 2 to 3 rating. It's a little unfair, but that is the decision that we have come to.
So in this case, if you can't find, if you look at the resources efficiency, charities, etc., these are all social, right?
Yes, Professor.
You see, the reason why we are now cross-checking this information, also to understand how you approach it and how do you calibrate that. So until next week, please look at one more time your items, your company information, and I'm sure this will be updated until next week. And also cross-check with other team members. Those people who rated ABA can audit Akleda, and Akleda student can audit this one to have a similar conversation as we are having. So make your own assessments within the team.
One more, Professor. the component for the scaling is that we compare the size of the enterprises as well. For example, ABA, it has expanded itself to a very, very prominent presence in Cambodia. And so when it comes to measures to combat climate change, they're doing so little. So if we to balance the scale of their size and what they have done, I think a 2 or a 3 is still pretty okay. Yes, Professor, we
You see, if we put the size component, it's very right what you're saying. It might have, but imagine they are doing same things as a small bank, and yeah, have team discussions, and then next week let's see. But to me, it's unfair to give a 2, and also not putting the right climate change information. I'm sure they have some reporting in it. So deep dive on these organizations. I'm sure you will find more information and update these heat maps. So go to your then one pager and very quick explanation your findings.
Okay, so the ESG analysis of the finance industry within Cambodia, we would give it a fair and good rating overall, with more institutions trying to implement more ways to maximize their resources efficiently. Although the industry has seen more movements towards a more sustainable future, we still believe that more efforts could be achieved. One thing that we have taken from our research is that it is so obvious that this industry is still lacking when it comes to ESG reporting, because only the big ones, the big banks such as Acleda or even ABA or even Wing Bank, even Chipmong Bank, arguably one of the more prominent bank in Cambodia, one of the more prominent banks in Cambodia, they only had one page when it comes to their ESG rating, suggesting that they should take it more seriously when it comes to this framework and its reporting every year. So as we dive deeper into the sector, these institutions, from banks to microfinances, to insurance, they are doing good when it comes to their resources efficiency, with them moving towards a more robust digitalization, which is clear through the increase of mobile applications and digital transactions that decreases the usage of paper and energy. Also, in the workplace, in offices, banks have encouraged their employees to start using tumblers or paper cups to reduce the use of plastics within the institutions, which we can say that it's a good sign when it comes to moving towards a more sustainable future for the businesses. And then these institutions are also playing a part in climate change measures, especially through their donations for preventing any unforeseen natural disasters and financial support for promoting green projects to foster a more friendly landscape in the future. But as you have said before, a while ago, Professor, you said that these charities are more into the social aspect of ESG, but we still believe that these donations from these institutions, they are trying to help shape up the potential for sustainability in Cambodia, especially within the finance sector. And an example can be seen through FTB Bank, who arguably does not really have a prominent presence in Cambodian market, but with their size and their endeavors to make a change in Cambodia, they should it is obvious that the finance sector is moving forward, with them just signed a membership in the Cambodian Sustainable Principle, and that is a sign for other banks and other institutions to follow suit. Lastly, we have the waste management. Waste management may not be a primary concern for this industry, as sooner or later it will become even more digitalized, with the reduction of the usage of plastic bags or paper, energy, and water. And of course, a more prominent measure is taken to manage the waste. And then we move to the worldwide best practices. So for the resources efficiency, we can see that many companies are implementing policies that requires the lender to adhere to certain environmental and social standards as a part of the approval processes, which encourages companies to follow resource efficient practices that help mitigate negative impacts on the environment. And then this is not so complicated, but they should move towards a more paperless billings for transactions within their operations. And for the climate change, again, just cutting down the usage of paper, plastic, and energies and other potential pollutants that can pose a threat to the environment. And of course, to support more green projects to improve the operations within the sector. And for the waste management, we can implement paperless finances to mitigate the usage of paper and waste by diminishing reliances on paper-based documents and advocating digital working. And this all fosters a more sustainable commitment towards a brighter and greener future. And that's all for the finance industry. Thank you, Professor.
Good job, good job. So I see that you are comfortable about talking about the industry. The more you dive into the industry and company information, and those also headlines, or those the sentences will be updated. So see these one-pagers of today. This is same for all teams as your very drafts information. Also the Excel. It's a living document that you will adjust in the upcoming 2 weeks. And then the following weeks, then you will have to refocus on these one-pagers to make a definitive version. But every week you can make some little adjustments. So it's fine. So we are not going to reporting it anywhere. All right, cool. Who's the next lucky
Thank you,
team?
Professor.
My team, please, Professor.
Yes.
Professor, can you see our screen right now?
Yes. And you are which
Retail
industry?
industry. So here is our heat map. So
A retail. So you have the Body Shop, Central Market. Central Market is that the market in with the
yeah, they are also big
green,
ones,
yeah.
so we thought it would be great to use it too.
Yeah. It's nice choice. You know, it's a Aeon Mall, Chipmunk, Casio. Is it it's a shopping mall?
It is the watch seller, like the watch like G-Shock and stuff, and Casio, and they also produce stuff like Toyota too.
You have supermarkets.
Oh, the
Okay.
last two are Lucky and DFI Lucky Supermarket and Macro Supermarket.
Also, you have more than 10.
Oh no, we have two, but I thought this one didn't show up, so I thought you couldn't see it, so I pronounced it out.
I see. Okay, cool. All right. So you have a combination of reddish and also greenish.
Yes.
So can we see there's a Central Market?
Here.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh no, no.
Mm.
Is it too big?
Yeah.
Oh, this.
Yeah, there is no sustainability. Okay, show us something very green.
Really green. We have Decathlon, and then Macro Supermarket and Lucky too. So the really green one is this one. We have 2, 4 and 1, 3.
Okay. So I see nice homework developing. So I will not go into detail, but you understand from the previous feedback.
Yes.
So also see how the other companies are doing, or how other students are giving information, and try
Yeah.
to find a collaboration within the team.
Okay, Professor.
Also keep looking information about the same organization, and try to find people to send the surveys, right? It's for
Yeah, we
everyone.
also went to visit like personally to see what is about too.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, have fun. Wow.
Okay,
Thank you.
so-
Okay, let's go back to your one pager.
So, can you see the screen now, Professor? The
Yes.
one page. So, today our team will be presenting you guys the environmental framework of the ESG analysis in Cambodia. Is that the first, we will, after we have observed this retail industry in Cambodia, we would like to come up with a final score to give this industry a fair and neutral score only, because we have look deep into this and also visit the site personally and visit the website and all, is that the resource efficiency average score is only 3.10, while the climate change is 3.4, while the waste management is only 3.1. Well, first one, let's get deep into the resource and efficiency in this industry. Is that the energy management system is that they lack a lot in this, especially for the traditional market. As you have seen our heat map, is that traditional markets such as central market would have like really bad and bad heat map and rating, because most of them didn't really follow the ESG rule that Cambodia has implemented starting this 2024, and only a few business like big company from outside like Aeon or Decathlon or the body shop that would properly follow this ESG and have ESG report and care about the environment. So their energy management system is not so good yet in Cambodia, while their renewable energy is also the same. Most of the store would waste it on the light, like for example, the UCare pharmacy, they would have a lot of light inside the store that is that doesn't really help with this energy saving and doesn't really use renewable energy and only waste more energy. And also that transportation optimization, I have checked some feedback from the customer. The review said that most of the retail store in Cambodia would like send every transportation delivery, like sometimes they would send out 10 people a day. That would really waste the energy and also has a lot of carbon footprint living here. So because of this transportation, so the transportation optimization is bad as well. So but with the foreign brand naming in Cambodia that did follow this ESG like Aeon, we would like to give this energy results an average of 3.1. While the next one is the climate change, that this industry average score is about 3.4 because of the first material sourcing, is that there are some good retail that would use their good material like renewable, recyclable. Like for example, Decathlon, they would sell the item from a supplier that use polyester that the recycle from the bottle. From the plastic bottle that save the environment a lot and also save this climate change. And because of this transportation optimization, the light usage in a lot of store in Cambodia, we need Cambodia to have the carbon footprint reduction as well, because there are still a lot of carbon wastage that, for example, the central market also has some fan that would emit the carbon dioxide. So we would like them to have this carbon footprint reduction, because it is not so good yet. While they also need more eco-friendly package and material, because not many business would use the eco-friendly package one, as most of the business would use the plastic that is affecting the environment and changing this climate. And we give this a 3.4 because there are a lot of like DFI market, Aeon and then Chipmunk, they would encourage the customer to bring out like their own package, like from home, the recyclable one. And because if they use the plastic one, they would be charged with money. So we give it a good one. While the last one is the waste management, is that we come up with an average score of 3.1. It's because of their first one, their sustainable practice is not so good, as Cambodia has only mandated the legal requirement for ESG in 2024. starting on January this year. So this sustainable practice is not so popular among the traditional market, especially like central market or other market. So only like Aeon Aeon or other brand from foreign country would probably follow this sustainable practice. And their recycling program as well is a lot of Cambodian market would not recycle properly and leave a lot of wastage. And for example, UK market, I have seen them like they have around 15,000 new pill or new drug every year coming into their store. So whenever it expires, they have to throw it all away. That is a really big wastage problem. And while there are good wastage recycling program in Cambodia too, for example, Chipmunk or Aeon that are sometimes like the big modern market one, they would have like proper waste separating and all. So the last one is the compliance with regulation is there are not so many following the regulation yet. As I have already mentioned, the regulation is only coming out in January this year, which means not many store has the ability to adapt this fast to this regulation. So
Yeah, may I suggest for your one pagers,
yeah,
your left side can be a little more explanatory, because on waste management you are saying recycling programs on both sides, but I don't understand whether your industry observation is positive or negative in this. You know, best practice is having recycled programs. When you put your recycle program, you could say recycles programs are implemented or still not there.
okay, Professor.
So that they are little self-explanatory.
Yes,
And
Professor.
also very little detail. If I look at the line spacing, you have more space in the industry observations.
Yes,
and
Professor.
then worldwide best practices. So make it parallel.
Yes, Professor. Thank you. So my next
No detail, but from a consultant perspective, you need to also look at these look and feel of your pages.
yes, Professor.
Okay, we got the worldwide practices by looking at them. I'd like to move the following team. Great job, compliments, very
Yes.
nice prepared.
So I will stop sharing now. Thank you, Professor.
All right. Who's pushing the share screen button? Yay.
Hi, Professor.
Tourism.
Yes. So from what we gathered, these are the 10 companies that we met. We both searched online, checked their websites, checked their financial reports, and even met some of the business owners as well.
So you have resorts, hotels, some restaurant. Okay. I think the Marriott is very interesting. You have 1, 0. Probably there is information missing there. Then 5 and 3. Can you go to Marriott?
Yes,
Sam?
it's one of my members. He was digging through the reports, and in terms of resource efficiency, we weren't able to find any mentions on their financial report.
It's ongoing. Well, if you are unsure, you can start by giving 3. Then it can move 1 up, 1 down, because 0 or 1 will be very striking. So if you're unsure, choose 3 and then move from this point onwards. And I can imagine that team member will work on this in the next 2 weeks, right?
Yes,
and I see you are also filling the other information, which is okay. Can you go a little bit down? So you have, yeah. This is a nice example, because you start gathering all this information in when you are looking at the company. Cool. let's compare with Hyatt.
From Hyatt, we found that some of their practices are not applicable to certain countries. But then they didn't mention about it. But then we just assumed that they also apply to all their branches as well in Asia Pacific. Yeah, so their practices in Korea, in Thailand, or Vietnam, we also assume
Try
that.
to go to that hotel. I mean, talk to the receptionist and then said, you can also reach out, hey, we're students. Can we speak to, I don't know, a manager? They will be happy to, spend a couple of minutes if you have specific questions. And you could say, well, can I send you the link, the survey link? So be active next 2 weeks. I see that this is developing nicely. So let's go to your one-pager.
Yes, Professor. Share again. So in terms of our industry, which is tourism, we average it out to our categorization for the environment initiatives is neutral and fair, because there are a lot of ups and downs of certain things and certain practices in the industry. And from what we've learned as well from the 10 companies, in terms of resource efficiency, they have employed a lot of techniques and utilization of initiatives similar to what the world is currently doing and what the world's best practices are, which is one of them being reducing the usage of plastic waste and single-use plastics by using alternatives. Like the company I actually talked to is the Honor Hotel. He mentioned that his supplier of hotel amenities, he said a huge portion of it are either biodegradable or recycled. So things such as
okay, I got the point. I think you could have at least 1 or 2 more bullet points for each area. So because you have 10 company information, only 1 sentence here is too less. We'll summarize at the end, maybe as a 1 sentence, but try to put here some more bullet points to enrich this page, okay?
Yes, Professor. I'll just after the presentation.
Sure. I mean, once again, your presentations, I don't judge as good or bad. When I see something, I reflect so that everybody takes as a feedback. All right. It seems you're in the very right direction. So if you update this page towards the end, it will be fine. So for your next week analysis, you could have a little more detail on your one-pagers. Great.
Yes,
let's move to the following team. Education.
Hello,
Right.
sir. Can you hear me clearly?
Can we see your Excel, please?
Yes, sir.
It's nice that you have links on these pages so you can immediately find. Very good practice.
Yes.
And we see here suddenly lots of 2s and 3s. All right. You have different companies, right? Can we
Yes,
go
sir.
to company number 3?
Sorry, sir. Here is the main slide. Sorry for this one. This is the main one.
Okay, cool.
Yes, yes.
Can we go to Ruli, third one?
Okay.
Let's say they have all colors. So let's see why you have evaluated this way.
So for our resource efficiency, we focus on the lighting, the climate control, and the equipment technology infrastructure. Mainly for the resource, we would say that focusing on re-innovation using resources and the electricity as well. So for OULE, this university, they have a great, I would say, great monitoring system for the resource and many skilled worker to monitor it as well. For the carbon emissions, so for the second one, we don't put the climate change, but instead we put the carbon emission. This is because of the resource, because of the most university, especially OULE, with a lot of facility inside, use a lot of AC. And also there is a lot of lighting too. So this create like carbon emission with the other university measurement. Yes. And the last one, the waste management, OULE, again, compare with other university, they have a lot of students, and most of them they use food packaging disposal. So that all of that is non-renewable. So it kind of affect to the waste as well. Yes.
Okay, so I look at the numbers.